and never advanced in the playoffs despite the presence of Giannis Antetokounmpo. WILBON, does this parting of ways make sense to you?
Yes. Yeah, it does make sense to me. I'm looking at this from a different perspective. I've been friends with Glenn Rivers.
Long time.
For decades.
Long time.
Okay, so I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I'm neutral. I'm not. Giannis hasn't done a damn thing for 5 years, but sort of put it out there that he doesn't really know what he wants to do. He's not available for any important game in the playoffs. Let me say it again. For 5 years, since winning a championship, he starts every season like a house of fire. And everybody says, oh, Giannis is one of the 3 or 4 greatest players in the game. And you get to game 3 in the playoffs and he ain't there. Yeah. So they should have traded Giannis before. You know,
You thought he'd be traded by the deadline.
I did. I
said that a number of times.
I worried about Doc in this job because it's tied directly to what Giannis can or cannot do. Right. Any NBA head coaching job has that dynamic. And I got tired of Giannis, even though he's a great player when he's there. But in the playoffs, what?
Let me give you a statistic that you're going to like. He has not played more than 67 games out of 82, only once in the last 7 seasons, something like that.
That's what I'm talking about.
So what he is basically is Joel Embiid without laying on the ground holding his leg. That's what he has become. Look, last week we had Brian Windhorst on this show. The first question of Brian was, what's happening in Milwaukee? And he said he did not think neither Doc nor Giannis would be there next year. So far, he's 1 for 1. And I agree with you that Giannis is a great player. He's got a ring. He's a great player. But he also appears to be a divisive human being on that team. He has gotten rid of 2 coaches already, I believe, and you agree with me on that.
No,
and I guess he liked Doc for an hour. We don't know what happened after that.
No, he still likes Doc. There's no
didn't work
between Doc and
it's not working there. They got to get rid of him.
It's not
okay, I have grown weary. I've grown weary of Giannis saying, I'm going to be here next year, and then 24 hours later saying, I don't know if they want me to be here next year. For all I know, he's buying a house in another city someplace. I don't have any idea, but it's not working there, and it's got to change.
And so the parting of the ways, which you asked me about, it needed to be, look, Doc Rivers has, first of all, had a Hall of Fame career. He just won the Hall of Fame.
Got a ring.
Okay? Got a ring, Hall of Fame. He had a distinguished playing career. And as Doc said the other night, he's got X number of grandkids. I forget the numbers. Either 6 or 9. He's got grandchildren now. I don't know how.
Pardon the interruption went off on the Milwaukee Bucks today. And Michael WILBON said something that every NBA fan needs to hear. He said, Giannis Antetokounmpo is basically Joel Embiid without laying on the ground holding his leg. Let that sink in. WILBON is a longtime friend of Doc Rivers. He's been friends with him for decades. He's not neutral. And even he said the parting of ways makes sense. Here's what WILBON said about Giannis. And I'm quoting directly. Giannis hasn't done a damn thing for 5 years. He starts every season like a house of fire. Everybody says he's one of the 3 or 4 greatest players in the game. And you get to game 3 of the playoffs and he ain't there. WILBON pointed out that Giannis has not played more than 67 games in a season in forever. He's never available when it matters most. And Tony Kornheiser added the stat. Only once in the last 7 seasons has Giannis played more than 67 games. Once. For a guy making a supermax contract. For a guy who is supposed to be the face of the franchise. That's unacceptable. WILBON said he's grown weary of Giannis saying, I'm going to be here next year, and then 24 hours later saying, I don't know if they want me to be here next year. He said, for all I know, he's buying a house in another city someplace. And you know what? WILBON is right. The Bucks have been in limbo for years. They fired Adrian Griffin when he was 31-13 because Giannis wasn't happy. They brought in Doc Rivers. That didn't work. And now Doc is gone. And WILBON's message to Doc. Go enjoy your grandkids. You've got a Hall of Fame career. You've got a ring. You've got a membership at Bear. Go do it. You don't need any more. But here's the part that really got me. WILBON said he thought Giannis would be traded by the deadline. And he's not alone. Brian Windhorst was on PTI last week and said he didn't think Doc or Giannis would be there next year. So far, he's 1 for 1. And I think Windhorst is going to be 2 for 2. Because if you're the Bucks, what are you doing? You have a superstar who doesn't play in the playoffs. You have no coach. You have no direction. And you have a chance to trade Giannis for a historic haul. Multiple first-round picks. Young players. A complete reset. The longer you wait, the less value you get. Now let me shift to the Masters, because WILBON and Tony also broke down Rory McIlroy's incredible win. And Tony said something that I can't stop thinking about. He said Rory was extremely lucky. He pointed out that Justin Rose gagged on the back nine. That Cameron Young and Russell Henley didn't press him. That Scottie Scheffler missed a birdie putt on 17 by 1 inch. 1 inch. If that putt drops, we're going to a playoff. And who knows what happens then. Tony also noted that Rory was ranked 90th in driving accuracy out of 91 players. 91st? No, 90th. And he still won. The drive on 18 could have landed in South Carolina. It was that far offline. But Rory showed something that Tony called resolve and resilience. He lost the lead. He regained the lead. He made 4 birdies in a stretch from 7 through 13. And that putt on 16. Tony said, that was Tiger. That was a great play. WILBON put Rory's career in perspective. He said Rory is now one of only 4 players ever to win back-to-back Masters. Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, Nick Faldo, and now Rory McIlroy. That's an elite group. He has a Grand Slam. And WILBON said if Rory gets to 10 majors, he will be one of the 5 or 6 greatest golfers of all time. Tony compared him to Phil Mickelson because of the roller coaster way he wins. It's never easy. It's never boring. It's a wild ride. And if you're a golf fan, it's thrilling. Finally, Tony and WILBON talked about the most compelling first-round NBA playoff series. WILBON said Denver versus Minnesota. And I agree with him. Jokic is the best basketball player in the world. Anthony Edwards wants to be. And Edwards has been a giant slayer. He's eliminated some people. The last 2 years, Minnesota has gotten to the conference finals. Denver won the whole thing a few years ago. That series could be the best first-round series in any sport. Tony also mentioned LeBron versus Kevin Durant. He said this might be the last time we see that matchup. Even though the Lakers are not a real threat without Luka Doncic, just seeing those 2 legends go at each other is compelling. Tony also gave a gratuitous shout-out to Wembanyama because as he said, it's fun to watch. And he even said the Atlanta Hawks could actually beat the New York Knicks. That's a hot take I'm here for. Alright, let me wrap this up with some questions for you. And I want you to destroy the comments. 1. Is Michael WILBON right about Giannis? Is he Joel Embiid without the dramatics? 2. Should the Bucks trade Giannis this summer, and if so, where does he go? 3. Where does Rory McIlroy rank all-time after his 6th major and 2nd straight Masters? 4. What is the most compelling first-round NBA playoff series, Denver Minnesota, Lakers Rockets, or something else? Drop your takes. The best ones I read next video. Smash like if you agree with WILBON about Giannis. Hit subscribe if you think Rory is top 5 all-time. And comment your NBA playoff predictions right now. Let's go.